5 reasons why Steve Blackman rules. We're spreading the love here on Fog Wrestling. Usually it's a different word that we're putting in there than rules, but we're going to do it anyway, and we're going to go with an Attitude Era favourite. We recently put him in the list of Attitude Era stars who should appear in the Royal Rumble. So we like Steve Blackman. We love Steve Blackman here on Fog Wrestling. So let's get stuck straight in to 5 reasons why he rules. And reason number 1. He has the most days as hardcore champion. Now, you can't really word it as longest reigning because, let's be real, I mean, obviously someone will be the longest reigning hardcore champion, but I mean, the most you held it for would have been like 2 weeks. If that, I mean, I think Crash Holly may have affared people for a month or something, but you get where I'm coming from. But he holds the most days as hardcore champion at a staggering 172. And you know what? That's in the record books. That title is retired. It will never be beaten. And you know what? That is a pretty good thing. Like, you know, if Steve Blackman sadly passed away tomorrow, he could say in his deathbed, I held the hardcore championship for 172 days, the most of anybody throughout WWE's most successful period. And could anyone really argue that fact with Steve Blackman? And would you want to argue that fact with Steve Blackman? Probably not. Coming in though at reason number 2, a bit more of a comedic element to this one, it is head cheese. It was absolutely phenomenal. Steve Blackman, we all know his personality, a bit non-existent, a wee bit boring, should we say. So what other to team him up with else? No. What does everybody need? Cheese. What does everybody want? Head. Put them together. You don't have cheese head, you've got head cheese. Some really good stuff. And there was also like a really funny story I was reading there that Al Snow pretended to Christian that Steve Blackman was stalking him. I thought that was pretty hilarious, to be honest. But I mean, head cheese, man. What a tag team. What a time to be alive, the WWF Attitude Era, man. It's like Steve Blackman's personality is like the most generic paint colour you could get. Very bland, but you know what? They knew what they were doing. They put him in all these awkward situations and it got the job done. Today, the roster's 95% like Steve Blackman, but that's no disrespect to Steve Blackman. It's like, at least they actually utilised his boringness, like Lance Storm as well. But anyway, reason number 3. He's undefeated in the Brawl for All. Now you may be thinking, but he didn't win the Brawl for All, so how's he undefeated? Because Bart Gunn, of course, went on and won the whole competition, but then got absolutely knocked out by Butterbean. But actually, he defeated Mark Meadow in round 1 and they had to pull out due to injury. So if you do the simple math, Steve Blackman's the only guy undefeated in the Brawl for All. Because yeah, Bart Gunn won the Brawl for All, but if we're counting the match against Butterbean, he absolutely got battered. And there is no two ways about it from that point of view, man. He got his head caved in. He did. Butterbean absolutely buried him, man. It was absolutely disgraceful. And we have to move on though to the next reason, which of course is my favourite reason at the 5. Is duffel bag. See, any time it panned backstage on Raw and you saw this guy carrying the duffel bag and you just knew there was kendo sticks, nunchucks, and whatever else Steve Blackman had in. Maybe he left his personality in the duffel bag and he just never had the time to get it into himself. But I loved this. I thought it was a really iconic image, if I'm being honest. And I've been rudely interrupted by the dog. Jake, what do you make of Steve Blackman's duffel bag? Did you want it to be full of treats? Woof woof. Aye, I did. You can probably hear the big man's heavy breathing. Right, Jake, it's alright. It's alright, son. Alright, Steve Blackman, he's going to show up at the Roswell Arena with his wee duffel bag and he's going... I know, you're having a wee yawn. But anyway, that brings us to reason number 5 for Steve Blackman. What a man. What a legend. And it is for reason number 5. Battered JBL with a single kick. Now, I didn't know about this. Well, no, I knew about the fact he battered JBL with a single kick, but he actually returned in 2013. And there's an image, as you can see right now, of Steve Blackman there. I don't know why he was there. We've got JBL, which I thought was pretty hilarious. But yeah, if you know about it in the airport, JBL was pissing him off. And Steve Blackman, one roundhouse kick, absolutely sends JBL to the shops and absolutely batters him into next week, guys. But anyway, that's 5 reasons why Steve Blackman rules. That's Fog Wrestling signing out. Check out all the vids on the channel. But until next time, Steve Blackman, one of a kind. What a man, the myth, the legend, wee Stevie Blackman.